Dr. Ruzaima and A.R. Chadinin, what is your advice for students who are taking civil engineering for climate change, or perhaps they should take environmental engineering? For Dr. Ruzaima?
You mean for climate change, to relate with climate change?
Yes.
Actually, every field can give a contributions in this climate change area, I think, and also in the area of sustainability, because it's not like it's not a choice for us. It's like our duty as a humans on this world to take care of our mother nature, right? So by putting our concern, by putting our awareness in every job that we've done, so everything that we do, so we can do some things to our mother nature, right? It's nothing to do with civil engineering or mechanical or electrical. Any jobs, I think they need to have put a concern on that.
Thank you, Doctor.
Right.
If you ask about this, I think perhaps we put it even a bigger picture, talking about sustainable development goal, SDG as per se, because climate change is just one of them. Okay. As what Dr. Ruzaima said, you can come in at every level. So if I'm talking into, say, the SDG, then you're talking about equities in the access of water. Civil engineers can come in thinking of how that you would be able to bring the waters from the highlands coming down. Chemical engineering can come in thinking of how that you would be able to filter the water to make sure that it is drinkable and things like that. Then designers will be able to come in to think of how that you would be able to make it accessible for everyone. Because frankly speaking, we are more on a problem solver. So you are looking into, say, for example, that a house that you build. Now that we have our governments building the brick house for the orang asli, and then if you really visited their house, their settlements, you will see that none of them actually staying in there. That's in their storeroom, so they will keep their things inside the brick house. But then they will choose to build their own house, at the side there with nipas, with twigs and whatever that they are accustomed to, because that is a way of living that they have. The brick house is just too hot for them, it is not possible for them, because the ants will come in, spiders will come in, all kinds of things will crawl into the brick house, because it is not elevated high enough, for all these things, for them to live in the forest. So then that is when the designers will have to come in to think of how that we can, at the same time, cater for their needs, cater for the challenges that is thrown to us by the environment, and yet we will be able to elevate the living qualities. So because the twigs and nipas just will not help them to keep themselves warm at night. It will not be able to last for more than a few months. Okay, how can you actually do that? So I think there are many ways for us to do it. The big scale that you can see, floating cities. Floating cities is floating in the air for those climate refugees. Okay. I feel that every levels that you can come in. It's just that whether you're committed enough or not. So that is why I feel that education is not about knowledge transfer. It is about how that we can make you see your responsibility. If you can see your responsibility, you will try your best in every way, in every small little things that you do to make it happen.
Yeah, thank you. So from your perspective, what is the best way to tackle academic obstacle in the field of architecture and engineering?
I mean, you just need to be there. You need to be there to know that what that you are drawing on board is not just line. Okay, they are not just lying. They are something that is going to build and have impact on somebody's life. So if you forgot to put in the windows, then that will mean that persons will need to live in that rooms without the windows for an awful long time until he go and build himself a window. So you need to take responsibilities of what you do. So I think my slides has explained most of it. Yeah. Does it resemble?
Yeah, I think because the way how the lecturers deliver the information to the students is not purposely to mold the student. Perhaps that from the beginning, before the students taking the engineering or architecture, the students itself must prepare themselves and they know what are they want, what are their target. Because the lecturer only, we only guide the students, but the students itself need to have desire to learn about the engineering, about the architecture. Because without that interest, if they are not interested in this field, I think it's very hard for the right to mold the students, right? It must come from the students itself.
Okay. Next question. Throughout your career, what is the most unforgettable or interesting project you are involved in?
The stability in the air, I think that's one. Yeah. I think during the work, if you're talking about projects, I think one thing that, let's just not say that which is the most interesting project. We can just put it this way, I'm no star architect official, so the projects that we have done during the practice ended up a lot of condominiums, commercial centers and things like that. To say that any one of them being able to be called a most interesting project might not be justifiable. But just to put it this way, as an architect in practice for some times that you have to chair meetings and you have to deal with all different types of peoples and things like that. I think maybe what just say most unforgettable incidents that I have is that when you are actually at the chair and then you are dealing with all the other consultants, including your contractor and your subcontractors, you will realize that how important it is for you to have the basic knowledge of everything. Okay, so now that when you come into architectures or interior studies, a lot of people just, a lot of students was complaining, saying that, why do we have to study all this, know about structures, the principles, the thought, the forces and things like that, because those will be the very same thing that you feel that you need when you are trying to solve a on-site issues. When your contractors comes into you and asking, for a solutions on site, you need to be able to draw your knowledge from the structures, understandings to know that whether or not you can move that column, even if it's as simple as just move the columns, you need to be able to do that. Why? Because your engineers will always tell you cannot. Because engineers don't like to change. They will say, no, you don't change. But if you have the knowledge, of whether you can counter-propose a solution or not, even if you might not know by millimeters, you would be able to argue and to have your stand. So I think maybe that is the most important things we have learned and during that time.
Okay, like me, I have no experience at the site, as I mentioned. I have no experience as an engineer itself. But then, to contribute something to the to come up with the module, KKTM module, come up with the CIDB module for sustainable construction is very satisfied me actually, because perhaps that I can put something in that module, and then because the module is being used for the contractor. So I think that one of the achievements in my life, because I love sustainability, I love grade, I love something I related to, because we feel the things. If we are not comfort in this room, is feel hot, we don't like the glass, everything, we are the one who feels. So we are the one can make a change as well. So by come up with that module, work together with CIDB, and then we come up with me and my team come up with the training to the contractor, give something together. That one is an achievement for me. And then another thing is, in my research I do after my PhD, I've been appointed as an expert in the analysis LSM. That one under R&D Unit 10 NTMB. So I'm not direct with the people. I'm not direct with the contractor. I'm not direct with the client, with the engineer and architect and so on. But then I tried my best to put something into the modules and the research.